I, 28 female, I'm expecting a daughter with my husband 30 next year. Her daughter will be the first granddaughter born in his family. He has 7 nephews and no nieces so far. When we announced the news that we were having a girl, my husband's family was super excited. We already had a name chosen for our daughter, and then his family mentioned naming her the family name. My husband already knew the name would be out for me, but his family is not okay with our reasoning. For context, I'm an affair baby, and I was unfortunately raised in an environment that was all I was allowed to be for the first 18 years of my life. My dad's affair was never taken out on him. Instead, I was the one everyone hated. My dad's wife was the person who hated me most of all. She found me repulsive and never hesitated to tell me exactly that. Her name was Annalise. She was giddy when she kicked me out on my 18th birthday at midnight. I never saw her or any of my biological family after that. My husband's family name for the first granddaughter is also Annalise. It's been used for 5 generations already, and our daughter will be the 6th in the eyes of his family. We explain why the name wouldn't be used for our daughter, and they were unhappy. They feel like I should add a positive association to the name by using it for my daughter and allowing her to be part of something that she should be based on the fact that she will be the first granddaughter. My husband told them it wasn't happening, which was his final decision. But his family says I could assure him I'm okay with it and make sure we use the name. They said I was destroying something special by refusing. Am I the idiot? For goodness sake, the amount of entitlement that in-laws or family in general seem to have when it comes to a baby is absolutely insane. And the coldness of others, your dad's wife, you are not the idiot. It's your baby, and only you and your husband can choose your child's name. No is a sentence. Dear fam, I know the name Annalise is special to your family, but the name is associated with the worst parts of my life. Annalise may be filled awful for being born every chance she could. There is no way that anything positive could ever come from that name and our daughter. For 18 years, Annalise made my life as miserable as possible until she kicked me out. There is no way I will ever give my much-wanted love daughter the name the woman who showed I wasn't wanted or loved every day. You are the one destroying something special by insisting your family tradition is more important than your actual family. Perfect response. Traditions are lovely until they become handcuffed. One of my good friends had this happen with her son. Her husband was John Doe 4, and her mother-in-law informed her that she had to name her baby boy, John Doe 5. The name was a really old name that any kid would hate. My friend and her husband didn't use that name. Her father-in-law later told them don't tell your grandparents, but I'm glad to see the name gone. Your baby, your choice. Let another sibling use if they choose to. I always find it insanely entitled when a wife or her children take her husband's last name, which is the vast majority of cases, and then his family dares to pressure their daughter-in-law to give her child first or middle names for some family tradition. Like you already passed on your last name, how greedy are you? Take the win and shut up. Oh. Congrats on the baby. I'm sure you'll choose a great name. They can name the second granddaughter that name, and the world will keep spinning. I, 24 female, own a home inherited from my grandmother. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and figured I could rent the extra bedroom I don't use for cash on the side. I spoke to a few applicants, and I really liked Kate, 25 female. She seemed like a good personality fit. I asked during the meet and greet if she needed any special accommodations I need to be aware of, and she said, no. However, 2 days after moving in, Kate drops a bomb on me saying she has a severe smell sensitivity, asthma, and cannot have any candles or fragrance in the house. I was taken aback. I told her I'd accommodate that, but I wish she'd disclosed during the meet and greet since I'm a big fan of incense and candles and would have made plans beforehand to mitigate the smell. Since then, she's been policing every fragrance in the house, which is really frustrating to me. She asked I don't wear or even spray any perfume on myself in the home. She then tossed away my scented detergent because she could smell it on my clothes, and it gave her a migraine. She complained and threw out my scented hand soap, expensive lotion and body wash too. She tossed away my lightly scented cleaning supplies and even the old candles I stored. I told her to just tell me instead of throwing everything away because it's not okay to do that. She apologized, but reminded me that no scent means no scent. I told her that I didn't realize dishwasher tablets even had a scent. She said that sounded very backhanded and petty. Yesterday, I was baking some cinnamon rolls in the oven. And she came down yelling, saying that she couldn't handle the smell and asks I refrain from cooking anything like this again. She gave me a long list of other foods I'm banned from making. I finally had enough and said she was acting like a lunatic. This is now going beyond simple accommodations. I told her I suggest she either learn to deal with it or find somewhere else to live because this is crazy. Kate flipped out and said I was discriminating against her. It's illegal and she can sue. I told her she's just a control freak, and I won't be a doormat for it. I told her if she wants to go down the legal route, I'd be more than happy to go down to the courts and provide all the receipts for the cost of the stuff she's thrown away. She got quiet at that. She's been staying with her parents since and plans to move out soon, but has called me every name in the book. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She can try to file a discrimination case. Everyone needs a good laugh now and then. If she finds someone who believes baking cinnamon rolls is an act of discrimination, I'd love to hear their case, lol. She did not reveal her needed accommodation before accepting the privilege to live with you. You shouldn't have done anything to help that, but you're much nicer than I am. Let her go be sent free somewhere else. Like every candle and incense stick you have the night she does. What's the meet and greet in your house? If she didn't mention it, then when you had all of your things, you were really under no obligation to make any changes for her. She has no legal standing. She sounds like a control freak, and I think you dodged a bullet there. Me, I sent her an invoice for my destroyed property. I hope you got first and last with a deposit. And the upside is you know better for next time. Now get some yummy new candles, incense, wax melts, lotions, and soaps, and get your space back how you like it. Agree. Sounds like Opie's former roommate was using asthma to violate your boundaries, not to protect herself. I have severe scent allergies myself. But you would never see me running around someone else's home throwing away their things, much less not disclosing those issues before agreeing to live with one, especially after they specifically asked me to do so. Kate strikes me as crazy. She's a wackadoodle. Many update, thank you. I'm definitely sending her the invoice. I was bluffing going through small claims court. I've never done it before. Lol. For more I think about it, I'm furious about all my bath and body candles being thrown away. Those aren't cheap. Hopefully, the invoice scares are enough. I'm a first-grade teacher, and my daughter is a preschool teacher. She's a second-year teacher. She was a teaching assistant for a year while she got the credits required to teach. Her school opened a second location with one classroom, and she currently runs the area from 12 to 6:30 every day. When she started working at the school, I noticed she was running to the Dollar Tree or Walmart to grab little things for her classroom, like hair ties, stickers, beads, and string. She said she didn't mind because it was all cheaper, made her job more manageable. Then when she got her own classroom, she started looking on Nextdoor and buy nothing on shopping for her classroom more often. She has 24 outfits to store in her class, 3 in each size from 2 to 5 for boys and girls, in case the parents forget to send new clothes. She has a box of pull-ups in case a kid has an accident and doesn't have a spare pair of underwear. She has extra snacks, she has extra jackets and socks, a pair of combs and brushes, extra nap bedding, and bins of what she calls stalling activities. Easy things she can pull out when she needs to stall. She even has Halloween costumes in case one of her students doesn't have one, and she gives away blankets and jackets if she thinks student needs them. I told her that all of this is excessive, and she should leave it up to the school's owner to get these things. She said the owner says these things aren't necessary, but they don't cost much and make her class run more smoothly. I told her that if the owner says it's unnecessary, don't get these things and let her see how the class runs without them. I told her I don't spend any money on my classroom and that if my principal isn't willing to buy it, the kids don't need it. She says it's different because I work at a $30,000 plus per year private school, and she teaches in a lower income community, but I still told her it's not her responsibility. I also told her that her buying stuff for her classroom makes all of us that don't look bad, but she doesn't care. She's upset with me for being pushy. I'm just doing what's best for her. Am I the idiot for telling my daughter not to spend money on her classroom because it makes the rest of us look bad? You are the idiot. She says it's different because I work at a $30,000 plus per year private school, and she teaches in a lower income community. But I still told her it's not her responsibility. Now her do nice things for these kids who don't have the luxury of attending a private school. You're being a bit paranoid that stocking her low-income classroom with goodies could make your private classroom look bad. Look bad to who exactly? Are your private school kids taking field trips to your daughter's school? Exactly. I thought they were working at the same school, but they're not. So how does what the daughter do make her look bad? The only judgment Op's feeling right now is her own self-judgment. She's realized that she's a worse, less caring person than her daughter, and it's easier for her to try to hide the evidence by convincing her daughter to be less charitable than for her to make herself the kind of person she wishes she was. Imagine being more worried about how someone else doing an act of kindness that has nothing to do with you makes you look than about whether your kids have a jacket. Imagine being so self-absorbed that instead of being proud of your daughter for genuinely caring for the well-being of children, you are annoyed that people might think less of you. When literally no one is making that comparison, but you. Now imagine being the only person in these kids' lives who cares if they have an accident at school, only to have your mother tell you that you're trying to upstage her. Hopi needs to get over themselves, and maybe she shouldn't be teaching. Your daughter doesn't make you look bad, but your lack of care for these children having necessities sure does. Yes, lady, you are the idiot. I'm a single mom, female 42 of 4. Arden, young female teen, Riani, a female twin, Robin, a male twin, and Kaya, a female pre-tween. All of us except Robin are deaf with ASL as our first language. Arden and Bryony's dad, 46, left when the girls were toddlers, and I met Kaya's dad, Alex, 43, shortly after. He'd just come into custody of his nephew, Robin. Robin's bio mom, Layla, 47, gave Robin up to focus on recovering from her long-term addiction. Robin is fully aware of who his by her mom is, but considers Alex's dad and has called me his mom since the age of 2 or 3-ish. Lena has told me in the past how grateful she is for me filling that role and that she feels more like Robin's aunt than his mom. All is to say, when Alex was diagnosed with cancer 2 years ago, it was pretty clear to us that I would continue to raise Robin as my son after Alex's death. Alex passed away in June, and ever since his mom, my mother-in-law, has been causing problems. While she's never been outwardly hostile towards me and my children, she often complains about how use of ASL. Most of the family learned at least some basics to support communication, but mother-in-law insisted she was too old and couldn't do it, and has made some comments in the past about as a mother due to my deafness. My older girls are practically non-existent to her, and she often forgets that Kira is her grandchild too, and focuses solely on Robin. Mother-in-law spent most of the funeral telling people that I was unfit and trying to steal Robin away from his real family. It was hurtful to say the least and made me uncomfortable welcoming mother-in-law into my home after that, but I convinced myself that it was for the benefit of the kids. They just lost their dad. I didn't want to take away a grandparent too. Last Saturday, Robin came back from an outing with mother-in-law looking miserable. He wouldn't talk to anybody about what had happened and spent the rest of the weekend shut away in his room. I tried to ask mother-in-law what was happening, but she didn't answer my messages. Finally, Robin broke down in tears asking me if Grandma was going to take him away. It turns out that mother-in-law has repeatedly told Robin that she'll take him away from us, even telling him she'll call CPS on me to remove the kids. On Saturday, mother-in-law had gone even further, saying she could drive away with him, and never have to see us again. I immediately sent mother-in-law a message informing her that she was no longer welcome in my home or near any of the kids. I let Layla know what was going on and that she was still welcome to visit, have Robin stay if mother-in-law was nowhere nearby. My phone has been blowing up since with people asking me to reconsider. I haven't said anything about what happened, so I can only assume mother-in-law is spreading false information. Still, all the negative responses are making me doubt if I'm actually in the right here. Not the idiot. You should not let this woman anywhere near the boy. This mother-in-law is a danger to Robin. You must protect him. You should probably contact your local police to discuss the issue. Perhaps engage an attorney if you can afford it. Please notify the school not to let her near your son, that she's threatening to abduct him. Hopi, you need to take this seriously. Contact the police, school, friends, everyone who has contact with Robin. Everyone must be aware of what is going on. She is scarring your child. She and Robin being alone would never be permitted again. If Robin wants to visit her and if mother-in-law is paying, you might also possibly meet in the office of a family counselor. Honestly, I call CPS myself, especially after that drive-away stuff. That's not something you can mess around with. Granny has gone around the bend and could run off with your son at a moment's notice now. It has to be something you, as a responsible parent, prevent. If you have to do that by going no contact, do it. Your mother-in-law is most likely a narcissist, and the people agreeing with her are sometimes called flying monkeys. Block her and anyone who agrees with her. Being deaf is not a reason to remove your children. I'm planning a family Thanksgiving vacation, and a really good deal came up to go to the Cook Islands. I emailed my son, 20 Ollie, on Friday and called Sunday to see if he wanted to go. He's in college, and I'm not wasting money on a ticket if he didn't want to go. I needed snow by today because I must get visas for my younger sons, Teen, Tween, and Pretwin. Well, he didn't pick up his phone, so I bought the package. Just now, he texted me saying he wanted to go. I said too late, already bought the tickets. Next time, check your email or answer your damn phone. He said most people communicate by text. I said, well, most people don't get to go to the Cook Islands. Now his mom, my ex, is trying to tell me that he's Gen Z, and text is their primary communication format. Had I texted him then he would have responded? I said I didn't care. I'm well in my 40s and check all of my communication formats because I don't want to miss anything. Am I the idiot telling my son that he's not coming on vacation because he didn't check his emails? You are the idiot. Dear God, is this organizing a family holiday with your children or closing a business deal? One email, and one phone are the only chances your college-age son gets to go on a family vacation. This is incredibly sad. How am I in my 50s and know better than you how to communicate with my kids? If you're so good about checking all forms of communication, why didn't you also write in all forms of communication? Just think a 10-second text would have made the difference. If this was a work assignment, you performed very poorly. Yet, you are the idiot on many fronts. You emailed him Friday. It's hardly surprising. He didn't check his email over the weekend. Then you arrogantly complained that a missed call from you is more important than a message. What load of horse crap. Unless you never call him just to catch up, then he calls you on Monday, likely after catching up with his weekend emails, but you just shut him down. You gave him far too little warning to justify kicking him out of a once-in-a-lifetime family vacation. Clearly, you don't care if your son goes on the trip with you or not. Your whole story sounds like some stupid controlling power trip. Get over yourself and find some way to make this right because your attitude is unreasonable. Not the idiot, you sent him an email about an awesome vacation, and he chose not to reply. You called a needed answer. So he doesn't feel the need to commit to you unless he wants to. And to all the idiots saying that he shouldn't check his email on the weekends, they can screw right off as he's an adult and should crawl out of bed, click on his phone, and read an email. If your son doesn't acknowledge you until his convenience, That is on him.